Most crimes rely on careful planning and quick thinking, but sometimes all it takes is one small mistake to bring everything crashing down. A forgotten detail, a misstep at the wrong time, or a trace left behind can unravel even the best laid plans. Tonight, we'll talk about two cases. One whose attempt to disguise her crime led to deadly consequences, and another whose missteps turned his story into a tangled web of lies. Both of their stories highlight how seemingly inconsequential errors can be someone's undoing. I'm Laura. I'm here with my best friend Marina, and this is Grim.
Okay, so this case is a split, if you couldn't already tell. And Laura wrote the intro for both of them. And as soon as she gave the intro, I was like, oh, the errors in my case are very consequential. They are not inconsequential.
Well, I will admit that I had to have ChatGPT help with that part of it because I didn't want to go. I was going to Google it, right? And then I was like, no, I don't want to spoil it. So you can blame ChatGPT. And
we'll compare and contrast once we get there.
That's why it says at the bottom that it can make mistakes. Check for important information.
So
I know it does.
Yeah, it hates me.
Well, yeah, so you mentioned it, but we're doing a split. We forget all the time that we can do that. And so that being said, at least my case was not one originally on my list of things to split. I just found it. So, because sometimes we get suggestions that don't have enough
like
information.
Smaller.
Yeah.
I've just wanted to do this case because it's absurd. And, oh man, just you wait. You're going to poop your pants when we get there.
Oh, well, good thing we're at your house. Your seat.
You know what? You probably, based on the stains on my chairs from my children, you probably won't even be able to tell.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Before we go into our cases, though, we do have our Patreon shout-outs. Let's get started.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
I'm nervous for the pronunciation. I'm not of this particular one, but in general, I just feel like we've really been faltering lately. So
yeah.
This is going to go
can't
well.
Say words.
This is going to go well. All right, we're going to start out strong with Emma-Liza P.
Emma-Liza P. Woo. We love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Serial Mother.
Serial Mother?
Serial Mother.
Oh my gosh, we love
that
you.
That is cereal as in serial killer, not cereal to breakfast, just to be clear.
There's a difference. I'm kidding. I can spell. I just can't say words.
Woo woo. Thank you so much, Mother. Thank you. Christine K.
Christine K.
Thank you, Christine.
Whoa.
We love you. Thanks for
love you so much.
Us.
Oh, here we go. Here we go with the yodeling.
Elena,
we
love you. Thank
we
you,
love
Elena.
You so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Sarah N.
Sarah N.
Thank you, Sarah.
We love you so much.
Love you.
Thank you.
JD. Yes, it's me.
Jade. I thought you said JD.
No, I just
JD. JD. Yes, it's me.
Yes, it's me. We love you.
We love you so much. And we turn it into a song. JD. Yes, it's me.
Woo woo. Okay.
Thank you so much. We love you.
Mary H.
Mary,
we love you.
We love you so much.
We love
you.
Jordan G.
Jordan G.
We love you.
We love you so much, Jordan G.
Sarah Lou.
No,
it's just Sarah Lou.
Oh.
But I needed to say who after it.
Sarah Lou.
We love you so much.
That's a great word name to yodel. Sarah Lou.
This is going to be fun. We love you. Thank you.
Oh, can I tell you a little quick story?
Yeah.
My kids came home and they were like, say ooh, ooh, say ooh. I'm like, why am I saying that? Say ooh, hot ham.
What is happening
hot
right
ham.
now?
Okay, well, my husband got them hooked on Uptown Funk.
Oh my God.
So he says, woo, hot ham. So they're walking around the house all afternoon saying, hot ham.
I like how they start with just say woo.
So, yeah, say woo. Who? I'm like, why am I doing that? And I'm trying to talk to my husband.
Well, naturally.
And in the background, they're saying, say who, say who, say who.
I'm sure they were on pitch too, so that helped a lot.
Actually, they're not bad.
No, that's well, you can sing, so that makes sense.
Sarah Lou. Woo, woo.
On that note, Cody P.
Cody P. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cody. We love you.
Hot ham.
Woo. Abby.
Abby.
Thank you, Abby. We love you, Abby.
We love you
Thank
so
you
much.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Juliet.
I
love
love you
that name.
so much. That's beautiful.
We love you, Juliet. Thank
we
you.
love you. Thank you.
Caitlin Rose.
Caitlin Rose, we love
Thank
you
you,
so
Caitlin.
much.
We love you. Woo,
You're the
woo.
best.
Jen.
Jen.
We love you,
Jen.
Jen.
Jen. We
Jen,
love you
yeah.
so much.
Wow.
Laura's like, Jen, yeah.
You got it. And it was with one N, so good job.
Oh, yay.
Sarah S.
Sarah S. We love you so much.
We love you, Sarah. Woo, woo. And S.A.
S.A. We love you so much.
you.
Woo, woo.
Yay. There are a lot of names without last initials, and it felt off. It just like felt off. I felt like I needed it. Cher. Yeah. One
Or Madonna.
Single name.
Shakira.
Woo.
Shakira.
Thank you.
Shakira.
Oh,
Sorry,
boy.
go ahead.
We're 20 minutes into this podcast and we haven't gotten into anything.
Hot ham.
And we need it as a sound.
Oh
on
my
the-
God, we do, yes.
That'll be good.
I'm
We'll
going
have
to
ask
record
producer Mike.
And I'm going to record my kid doing it. Hot ham.
That's
and it's going to be,
hysterical.
yes.
That'll actually be adorable.
Yeah, we're going to do that now.
That's really good.
Okay.
Okay. That'll be fun. And it'll be so confusing for anyone who didn't listen to this episode.
Yes. They'll be like, what is it? Anyways, go ahead.
Anyway, okay, so it's a split. I think I will begin just because, I kicked it off. I don't know.
Yes.
Does that sound good?
Yes.
I also will admit that I wrote this a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And haven't read it since.
Okay.
So it may be a little bit of a rough ride, but I think together we can do it.
Right.
I think so.
I mean, reading,
it's hard.
It changes as the weeks go on.
does.
The words on paper.
They
They
might.
get harder.
They might.
Okay.
All right. Well, today we are going to talk about Stella Nickell, a woman whose life was marked by hardship, turmoil, and ultimately infamy. Born on August 7th, 1943 in Colton, Oregon, Stella grew up in a poor family, struggling through her early years. By 1959, she had her first daughter, Cynthia, and made a move to Southern California seeking a fresh start. There, she remarried and had another daughter, hoping to carve out a better life for herself. But Stella's path was anything but smooth. Her life became a series of legal troubles, beginning with a fraud conviction in 1968.
Oh, that'll get you.
Every time it wasn't insurance. It was
Oh,
like a check
damn.
fraud. Just a year later, in 1969, she was charged with child abuse, a particularly dark incident where she beat her daughter with a curtain rod.
Oh, shit,
And
Stella.
that reminds me of Mother Dearest, even though that wasn't a curtain rod. It was no wire hangers. Did you ever watch that?
No.
I can tell by your face you
No.
didn't. Great movie.
No.
You'll have to watch. I can't
Okay.
really tell you about it. It's about a crazy mom.
Well, I got that from the title, but okay.
All right.
I'll put it on my list.
Why do I see what the problem is? We don't watch the same movies.
No.
That's the issue here.
No, I tend to watch movies from 1990s forward, and you're like, did you see this one? It was from 1953. It was excellent.
I think it was from like the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, by 1971, speaking of, she was convicted of forgery, and despite these serious charges, Stella seemed to find ways to carry on. She served 6 months in jail for the fraud case and went through counseling after the abuse charge. Fast forward to 1974, this was the year that Stella met Bruce Nickell, a heavy equipment operator battling alcoholism. Their relationship moved fast, and by 1976, they were married. But their union was far from a fairy tale. For the next decade, the marriage faced its own share of challenges, with Bruce's struggles with addiction at the center. However, things took a dramatic turn when Bruce decided to get sober. What might seem like a positive step for most couples only seemed to drive a wedge between Stella and Bruce, because Stella actually really liked the party lifestyle. That was part of what attracted her to Bruce in the first place. She was really mad that he was getting sober.
Yeah, I was thinking like career criminal mixed with alcoholic.
Yeah, not good. Yeah, a bit of an addictive personality, I think. As Bruce gained clarity and stability, Stella found herself seeking new outlets. This is very wholesome, though. She began working evening shifts as a security screener at the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport and threw herself into a new hobby, creating a home aquarium.
Oh.
So very wholesome.
Okay, I have fish.
Thank you for that piece of information.
You're welcome.
I know, they're cute.
They are cute.
As cute as fish can be.
Yeah,
Don't come for me. I know there's fish people.
I
out
won
there.
them for like $10 at a carnival and then bought $100 worth of fish tanks right after that.
That's like both of us like crochet and do like those kinds of things. And we're like, I could buy this blanket for like $30 at TJ Maxx. or I can buy $100 worth of supplies and spend 40 hours of my own time creating a shittier version of it.
Over 5 years.
Yes. Okay, now let's fast forward to June 5th, 1986 in Auburn, Washington. Bruce came home from work that evening complaining of a headache. According to Stella, Bruce did what many of us would do, definitely myself. He reached for some extra strength Excedrin capsules from a bottle they kept at home. He took 4 capsules and settled in, hoping to ease his pain. You're making a face.
I don't think his
Did you forget what
pain
podcast we're
eased.
on? But within minutes, Bruce collapsed. Stella called 911 and paramedics rushed him to Harborview Medical Center. But despite their best efforts, Bruce was pronounced dead. Doctors initially ruled it a natural death, pointing to emphysema as the likely cause. It seemed like a tragic but explainable end. Then, just 6 days later, on June 11th, tragedy struck again, this time 40 miles away in Seattle. Sue Snow was a woman who seemed to have it all. At just 40 years old, she climbed the ladder to become an assistant vice president at Puget Sound National Bank Branch, A mother of 2 daughters, one grown and one a teenager, she had worked tirelessly to build her life after dropping out of high school following an early marriage. Twice divorced, she'd recently remarried a truck driver named Paul Webking. The two were inseparable, deeply in love.
Web King?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I know.
interesting.
Yeah. It's
Caught my attention.
it's a contraction. No, what's it called? Compound word. That's what I
Okay.
was thinking of.
Yeah, don't look at me.
I don't know why my brain needed you to have that information.
I don't know. I feel
It did.
complete now.
You feel informed?
Yes.
Okay. The morning of June 11th started like any other. Rising at 6 a.m., Sue reached for her usual pick-me-up of 2 capsules of extra-strength Excedrin, which, I kind of respect that hustle. As a caffeine addict myself, I get it. It's probably not great for your liver because that's acetaminophen, right, with Excedrin?
Yes. Yeah, with caffeine.
But it was a ritual for her, a way to jumpstart her day with a little caffeine boost. To be fair, in 1986, Celsius didn't exist.
Okay.
You know?
Coffee did, though.
Coffee did, but, and I don't know.
And who just wakes up to take meds that, like,
She probably was taking them
prophylactically?
like caffeine pills, is what I interpret. Not in a bad way, just like I think that's how she was taking them instead of her cup of coffee. I don't know.
Okay. I'm still trying to figure out if I know this case.
I don't know. We're halfway through, so I don't know that you do. But just a few hours later, sadly, Sue's 15-year-old daughter, Haley, found her mother collapsed on the bathroom floor, unresponsive. She was rushed to Harborview Medical Center, but by noon, Sue Snow was gone. Unlike Bruce Nickell's case, the circumstances surrounding Sue's death immediately raised questions. During her autopsy, Assistant Medical Examiner Janet Miller noticed the distinct scent of bitter almonds. Do you know what that is?
Cyanide.
Good job. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
And there's a whole book on, I don't know if it was, I did not read it. I don't know if it was only on this case or it was cases like this, but it was called Bitter Almonds, and I didn't understand why until I got to that point. But yes, it is apparently a classic sign of cyanide poisoning, and I'm positive the Grimmons are like, duh. So I get it.
Do you
okay?
even have a crime podcast?
Do you even murder people? Further testing confirmed it. Sue Snow had died from acute cyanide poisoning. Investigators quickly zeroed in on the Excedrin bottle that Sue had used that morning. Inside, they found 3 capsules that were still in the bottle that had been laced with cyanide. And Sue Snow was not the only one at risk. Another bottle from the same lot was discovered on the shelves of a grocery store in Kent, just miles away. Panic spread across Washington state. The manufacturer of Excedrin, Bristol-Myers, issued a massive recall of all Excedrin products in the Seattle area. The pharmaceutical industry even banded together to offer a $300,000 reward for information leading to the culprit.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of crazy.
Was this called like the Tylenol murders?
No, it was.
Is that different?
It is.
Okay.
Because there were some laws. And you know what's funny is I think I took that paragraph out because I was like, people don't need to know everything about the Tylenol murders. But I think, hold on. You can hear me flipping. Did I leave it in? No, I'll have to tell you at another time. But there were laws enacted as a result of those. So I guess I'll just have to do those.
Okay, yeah, do
I
those
didn't
too.
read-
Because I was
yeah.
like, is that what this is? But I was
No.
like, I'm pretty sure it was Tylenol, not Excedrin.
You are correct.
Okay.
And there were laws enacted as a result of that about like, we'll get to it, but like what you can be, something about what you can be charged with tampering or something like that. But
Okay.
obviously I have pieces of the information.
Okay.
But this is not it. So you still don't know this case.
Okay. Nope, I don't then.
Okay, so amid the chaos, so remember, this is all a result of Sue, one voice emerged, Stella Nickell. On June 19th, just over 2 weeks after Bruce's death, Stella came forward with a chilling revelation. She claimed that Bruce had also taken Excedrin from a bottle with the same lot number as the one that had killed Sue Snow. Authorities took a closer look, and tests confirmed the unthinkable. Bruce Nickell had also been poisoned with cyanide.
You don't say.
Now, what's more is Stella handed over 2 bottles of Excedrin to investigators, and tests revealed that those were both tainted with cyanide. Because remember, they thought his was caused from emphysema. They thought his death was unfortunate but natural.
Damn,
She's like, no, it's the Excedrin.
Can you imagine? You're just like, I have a headache, and you take 2 Excedrin and die.
Yeah, I hope I go quick if that happens.
Yeah.
You know, some of my headaches make me want to die. So maybe that would be preferable.
They went hand in hand.
Yes, exactly. Now, in the wake of the cyanide poisonings, suspicion initially fell on Bristol Myers, the makers of Excedrin. Both Stella and Paul, that's Sue's husband, filed wrongful death lawsuits against the pharmaceutical giant. The FDA launched an intensive investigation, zeroing in on the Morrisville, North Carolina plant where the tainted lot of Excedrin had been packaged. But their findings were conclusive. No traces of cyanide were found at the facility. Shocking. Despite this, the fear of the contaminated medicine spread rapidly. Bristol Myers escalated the recall, pulling Excedrin from store shelves nationwide.
I would be cried. So sad, yeah.
The company issued urgent warnings to consumers to dispose of any bottles they had at home. And then just days later, the crisis deepened. A bottle of Anisin 3, another over-the-counter medication, was discovered at the same grocery store where Sue Snow had purchased her fatal bottle of Excedrin. The capsules in this bottle were also laced with cyanide.
Does Stella shop at that store?
It's so weird. She does.
Okay, just wondering.
The state of Washington acted swiftly, imposing a 90-day ban on the sale of non-prescription capsules, like entirely, which is insane.
Dude.
Meanwhile, the FBI crime lab made a breakthrough. The cyanide-tainted capsules not only contained just the deadly chemical, but also tiny flecks of an unidentified green substance. Further analysis revealed that this substance was an algicide sold under the brand name Algae Destroyer Creative, a product commonly used in home aquariums. This revelation ruled out contamination during the production process. The Excedrin bottles, which were packaged in plastic containers with foil seals and secured with tamper-evident plastic wrap, were highly unlikely to have been compromised at the factory. Investigators shifted their focus away from Bristol Myers and towards something far more sinister: product tampering by someone who had direct access to the bottles after they hit the store shelves.
That is also why you emphasized her little hobby
I
of
sure did.
Aquarium
You've put 2 and 2 together.
caretaking.
You know, nobody would have if she just went with the emphysema. I'm just saying, but we'll get there. Both Stella and Paul were asked to undergo polygraph tests. Paul, devastated by his wife's death, agreed without hesitation. But Stella refused. Her lawyer claimed that she was too shaken up by her husband's death and the subsequent chaos. I'm shocked it took you that long.
I know. Actually. I was trying not to. And then I interrupted your sentence to do it.
It's okay. People got it.
Okay.
They got where we were going. Picked up what I was putting down. Then a critical detail raised investigators' eyebrows. Stella had provided 2 tainted bottles of Excedrins to authorities, but she claimed that they had been purchased at different times and from different stores. But given the circumstances, this seemed almost impossible. Across the entire country, only 5 cyanide-laced bottles of Excedrin had been discovered. The odds of one person randomly acquiring 2 of them was astronomical. And yet somehow Stella had.
Weird.
As suspicion mounted, the focus began to shift. Was Stella simply a grieving widow caught in a horrifying coincidence, or was there something far more chilling? I think you might know the answer. As investigators tightened their focus on Stella, a troubling series of revelations painted an increasingly damning picture. It started with the financial motive. You knew we couldn't get very far without hitting this. Stella had taken out around $76,000 in life insurance policies on Bruce with a significant catch. An additional $100,000 would be paid if his death was classified as accidental. Emphysema is not accidental.
Oh,
so that would be why. Idiot. Her behavior in the aftermath of Bruce's death raised red flags. Even before Sue Snow's cyanide poisoning drew national attention, Stella had challenged the initial ruling that Bruce had died of natural causes. Investigators also discovered that Bruce's signature on at least 2 of the insurance policies appeared to be forged. Someone who had maybe been in jail for forgery probably wouldn't have done that, though.
No, definitely not. She was wholesome at home taking care of fish.
Yeah, exactly. So then came the algicide. Records confirmed that Stella had purchased algae destroyer from a local fish store, the same substance that the FBI had identified in the tainted Excedrin capsules. Investigators theorized that Stella had used the same container to crush both the cyanide and the algicide, unintentionally leaving behind those green flecks. In November 1986, I just wanted to be in the 1800s for a minute there, Stella finally agreed to take a polygraph test, but the results only deepened the investigators' suspicions. She failed. Now I know, but she really did fail this one.
Circumstantially, you could put the evidence together.
They didn't need it. They didn't need it.
Yeah.
Despite the growing evidence, though, they didn't have enough to prosecute. At least they didn't think so. Unfortunately for Stella, that soon changed. In January 1987, Stella's adult daughter, Cynthia, came forward with a shocking confession. Cynthia claimed her mother had confided in her multiple times about wanting Bruce dead. Stella had allegedly grown frustrated with him after he quit drinking, and according to Cynthia, her mother had tried to poison Bruce before using foxglove hidden in capsules. While the attempt didn't kill him, it made him drowsy.
How old was the daughter when she was confiding
I don't know
that she wanted Bruce dead?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how old she was. Maybe teens? Maybe younger? I'm not sure. I don't remember what year. I don't know if I know what year she had her. 1959 to 86. What is that? 37? So, I don't know. 27.
8. Right?
We're really good at math. Anyway, either way, that wasn't the year she said it. It was sometime. So she was probably like 12.
Okay.
Carry the one.
I'm like, I have to like Rain Man it with the numbers like flowing in front of my face.
You need an abacus.
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay. After that failed attempt, Cynthia said, Stella began researching more lethal methods. She eventually settled on cyanide. Cynthia recalled her mother's chilling remarks about how they could spend Bruce's insurance payout once he was gone. Library records corroborated Cynthia's claims. Thank you. I did it. Stella had checked out several books on poisons, including human poisonings from native and cultivated plants and deadly harvest.
Oh my God, the 1980s Google search.
Exactly. And it makes me think of, in The Sims, the books that you would take out. Did you play The Sims?
No.
You're making a face also.
I don't like video games.
But it's not a video game.
I know, I didn't play The Sims like ever. Not once. Not once have I played The Sims.
What? I feel like I don't even know you. What?
I've seen it played, but I've never played it.
I don't even know. You've never... Okay, well, anyway, everyone else knows, like, it really reminds me of the books that you would take out that I'm not even going to try to explain.
Okay.
One of the books was overdue, suggesting she had kept it during her planning phase. FBI analysis of these books revealed Stella's fingerprints on pages discussing cyanide and other toxins.
Wow.
By the summer of 1987, the evidence against Stella was overwhelming. Her own daughter's testimony, the suspicious insurance policies, the algicide traces, and the library records all pointed to one undeniable conclusion. Stella Nickell was not just a grieving widow. She was a cold and calculated murderer.
I like that was under the category Stella is guilty.
Is that what it said?
Yeah. Your header was Stella is guilty.
I was trying to keep that a surprise for you.
Yeah, well, you ruined it.
I like to organize it in my head.
Your notes ruined it for me.
What was the one in the Karen Reed where you were like, I'm going to tell you about the investigation under the title? You said it so funny in that.
It was like the trial begins or something.
Under
something.
the category, the trial begins. Anyway, that tickled me. On December 9th, 1987, a federal grand jury indicted Stella. Why is that spelled that way?
Indicted?
I know it's not important right now, but it really bothers me.
It should
Why
be
isn't it indicted?
INDIGHTED.
And I know there are rules.
Indicted.
Yeah, it annoys me.
I'm really sorry.
Okay, that's all. I just needed you as the face of the law.
I'll let them know.
Okay. Anyway, they indicted Stella on 5 counts of product tampering, including charges related to the cyanide-laced capsules. Stella was arrested the same day, and the nation followed the case closely.
I'm sorry, no murder?
No, isn't that so? Like, it said that It's the tampering, including charges related to the capsules that caused the deaths. So she got...
so maybe the product tampering is like with intent to cause death or bodily harm.
Hold on, I'm like reading ahead because that's how we do this. But it was, she got... Well,
why don't you read your notes?
I'll
we'll
just
get
read
there.
it. Yep. Okay. Where am I? The trial began in April 1988, and after a month of proceedings, the jury deliberated for 5 days before delivering a verdict on May 9th. Any guesses based on my title of that?
They were hung.
No, they not on all counts. No, I'm kidding. They were guilty on all counts. Stella's defense team, of course, fought back, seeking a mistrial. They argued that a juror's previous involvement in a lawsuit concerning a tampered product, ironically, a pill found in a package of Pepperidge Farm goldfish crackers.
Oh, wow.
Was grounds for disqualification. The defense claimed this prior experience was relevant to the issue of product tampering. They're like, they mentioned product tampering. It's the same thing. It should have been disclosed. However, the motion was denied. Stella received 2 consecutive 90-year prison terms for the deaths of Bruce and Sue.
Okay.
Along with 3 additional 10-year terms for the other product tampering charges.
So life.
Yeah. I think that's a fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, beyond the prison sentence, she was ordered to pay fines and forfeit her remaining assets to the victims' families, which feels good. Stella had consistently maintained her innocence. She filed multiple appeals, the most notable in 1989 and 2001, alleging jury tampering and judicial misconduct. I think you just throw everything right at
Well,
the
you
wall.
have nothing better to do. Yeah. So you got books to look at.
Yep. She also claimed that the FBI withheld evidence critical to her defense, but both appeals were denied. In a particularly contentious claim, Stella alleged that Cynthia fabricated her testimony to claim a portion of the $300,000 reward offered for information. Interestingly, Cynthia did collect $250,000 worth of the reward, which Stella insists influenced her daughter's decision to cooperate with investigators. It probably did, in my opinion. I would
cooperate. And also maybe she just like saw her mom filling the pills too.
Yeah. Attempts at parole in 2017 and 2021 were denied. In a significant development, Stella shifted her stance during her 2022 petition for compassionate release, no longer insisting on her innocence. However, her plea was denied. As of November 2024, Stella remains incarcerated at FCI Hazleton. With credit for her good behavior, her release date is projected to be March 7th, 2043, when she will be 99 years old.
Wow.
And that is the not Tylenol murders.
That's not, yeah.
I'm the Excedrin murders.
I'm still thinking about the pill found in a goldfish bag. I'm just trying to think if I like shook out some goldfish for my kids and there was just random pill in there.
I think you could probably win. Well, it's interesting. I wish I knew what the case was because product tampering is different than like somebody, well, I guess they probably don't have pills at the goldfish factory.
Right.
So,
Very interesting.
So there you go. That's it. And this whole thing started, I still don't know what your case is about yet, but this started because I think in fact, my like actual title on my notes is Dumb Criminals episode. So that's how I ended up with what Stella did, because had she just kept her mouth shut, she would have gotten $76,000 and not jail.
Yeah.
But instead she got greedy and stupid.
She did.
And she got jail time.
Oh my, you're gonna... My guy's so much dumber.
I like how you're just sitting here like you're not going to tell me the whole case right now.
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. This one, though, has a husband did it theme.
Okay.
For this case, I got the most information from CNN articles written by Holly Yan, Eric Levinson, and Christina Seguiglia.
Love her.
Seguiglia.
Love her.
An article by Maria Papadopoulos with Boston 25 News, a Boston.com article from Abby Patkin, and a CBS News article from December 2024. I don't know. Okay. I was really specific with my sources this time.
Is that in AP format?
Yes. Blue Book, actually.
Okay, perfect.
So today we're talking about the disappearance of Ana Walshe. Anna Lubitzik. Now, let me just tell you how much the internet hates me. It was written with lots of symbols. So I put it into Google and was like, how do you pronounce this? And it came back with upside down letters and symbols. It was hieroglyphics.
I think that your entire computer thinks that you're in China, though, and I'm not even like that's not
It really-
an exaggeration. It literally thinks that. So there's something funky
There's
going
gotta
on
be.
over
There's
there.
gotta be. I have cookies in my computer.
Did
from
you accept
TikTok.
all cookies?
Yes. I'm like,
Yes.
Please come into my computer, cookies. Okay, so Ana Lubitzik was born in 1983 in Belgrade, Serbia. She attended the University of Belgrade, obtaining a bachelor's degree in French language and literature. In 2005, she emigrated to the United States, where Ana began working her way towards the American dream, eventually obtaining dual citizenship. In 2005, she worked seasonal jobs in the hospitality industry, as well as taking a job as a housekeeper at the inn at Little Washington, in Little Washington, Virginia, before transitioning to a role as a server at the inn the following year. Ana lived in New York City for a few years before moving to Massachusetts in 2008. She was hired as the reservations manager at the Wheatley Hotel in Lenox, where she worked for more than 2 years, and it was there that she met her future husband, Brian Walshe. The pair dated for a while, broke up for 2 years, and then they reconnected in 2010. They were married in 2015, and Ana and Brian had 3 sons together quickly, all 2 years apart, with the youngest being born in December 2021. In addition to having 3 small children and a husband, Ana Walshe also developed an impressive career. During the week, she commuted between her home in Cohasset, Massachusetts, and Washington, D.C., where she worked for the prestigious real estate firm Tishman Speyer.
Hold on a second.
Isn't that crazy? She came to the U.S. as a housekeeper and then ended up working for a real estate firm.
Well, that's actually not what I'm stuck on. I'm stuck on the commute from the Berkshires, right? Lenox is Western Mass Berkshires.
Well, they lived in Cohasset.
Okay, Massachusetts, right?
Yeah. To DC.
Commuting to DC is daily for real estate?
Is there a train?
Yeah, but that's insane. That's like 5
It is
hours
insane.
down.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
thank you.
Well, that's all. I just wanted to,
Okay.
But yes, also crazy, like good for her. Whatever.
You were like, yeah, but also the travel. I think she flew.
Oh.
I think
damn.
she flew. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. I know.
She had a
I
really
see you,
important
Ana.
job.
Okay.
Yeah. Damn, girl. Despite the distance, Anna's connection to her young children remains steadfast.
Impossible. That's so hard.
Even when her work took her away, she made it a point to never miss a day of FaceTiming her kids, ensuring that they felt her presence no matter where she was.
Oh.
She was described by friends as a brilliant businesswoman and supermom. They described her as an absolute radiant spirit, the kind of person that when you walk into a room, you just feel her energy.
Like you would from a light.
She lit up a room. Brian's reputation and demeanor were not so vibrant. He had a rocky relationship with his family. Brian's father, Dr. Thomas Walshe, died in 2018. His will noted that he hadn't been in contact with Brian, and he bequeathed in his will, and I quote, "only his best wishes and nothing else."
Oh my God.
I'm like, damn. Damn.
I'm going to do that. Do a lot of people in my will.
My best wishes and nothing else.
They're not missing out on anything else, but that's what I'm going to put in my will.
Yep. Brian Walshe unsuccessfully contested the will and suggested that his father's signature on the document was possibly a forgery, although the family had all testified that he had, a falling out with his dad. His family alleged, actually, that he went into his father's home, tried to destroy his father's will, and then sold art, rugs, jewelry, a car, and was even attempting to sell his father's home out from under them.
Whoa.
Amounting to $500,000 taken from the estate.
So he has a good character, you would say? Okay.
Yes, very ethical. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
So his family filed a case against him, but the case was eventually dismissed because the relatives were like, we're going to spend all this money from the estate pursuing it, and he's never going to pay it back.
Isn't that the most frustrating thing? Is like, there's some things you just can't do anything about, and it's just that shitty person.
It's that cost-benefit analysis.
I hate it, though.
Yep. A month after, I meant to write a month after his father's death. I'm like, a month after his father's arrest? Like, what?
No.
So a month after his father's death, Brian was indicted on federal fraud charges for selling fake Andy Warhol paintings on eBay and also for stealing artwork from a friend. Again, moral compass pointing slightly northwest. In April 2021, Brian pleaded guilty to 3 of the 4 counts in exchange for a recommended sentence of incarceration, supervised release, fines, restitution, and forfeiture. And as part of that pre-sentencing probation, Brian was put on house arrest. So he was able to stay in his home with Anna and the kids.
That would be a white-collar crime for you.
Yes, and had an ankle monitor. Yep. A federal white-collar crime. Yep. Brian's federal case weighed heavily on Anna and drove a wedge in their relationship.
I would say.
Anna began dating a man in Washington, D.C. and spent Thanksgiving with him in Ireland.
Oh.
Yeah. It's luxurious.
Yeah.
In late December 2022, Anna was out to dinner with a friend in D.C. when she became unusually upset. She told the friend that she believed Brian was going to receive jail time as a result of his case and that she was prepared to leave him and take the children to live in Washington, D.C.
That seems like a great choice.
It's reasonable.
Me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On New Year's Eve in December 2022, Brian and Anna spent the night together. They celebrated New Year's with a friend. After the ball drop, the couple went to bed around 1 or 1:30. According to Brian, Anna left in the early morning hours for a work emergency, and she headed to Logan Airport around 4 a.m. In an Uber or a Lyft in order to catch her flight to D.C. 3 days later, Anna's employer asked police in Cohasset to check on Anna because they hadn't seen or heard from her. Her car was in Washington, and there was no missing persons report that had been filed. When police spoke with Brian, he told police that Anna had left on a flight on January 1st and that he just spent the last few days with his children.
Yeah, the mother who FaceTimes her kids every day just
fell
was
off
like,
the
I'm
face of the
really
planet.
having a hard time at work. Right. Okay.
Yep. Luckily for the authorities, the police knew exactly where to look to verify Brian's story, or fabricated story, as it were. Police confirmed that Anna had never ordered a rideshare on January 1st. She did not board a plane at Logan Airport. And then on January 2nd, her phone pinged at or near the Walshe home.
Yep. This surprises me in no way, shape, or form.
Only 4 days after Anna was reported missing by her employer, the police charged Brian with misleading authorities in the investigation. So they were able to detain him and pursue their investigation.
Wow.
The police had far more than Brian's questionable cooperation to suspect that he was responsible for Anna's disappearance. And the investigation that they pursued after his arrest led to some damning evidence.
Oh, boy.
So before she went missing on December 27th, he had Googled what's the best state to divorce for a man. So he was thinking about it.
On its own. Okay.
On its own.
All right.
I'm going to let that one slide.
Interesting qualifier to say for a man. I don't think I would ever think to say for a woman.
Well, yeah, especially if you're thinking about kids. There are a lot of states that are super mom friendly. They'll always defer to the mom for kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or child support.
I was going to say, I hope it's for the kids, but I don't think it is.
No,
I
probably
don't think
not.
so.
January 1st. The following searches were made on the oldest child's iPad. 4:55. This is all AM.
Okay.
4:55. How long before a body starts to smell?
Oh my God.
4:58. How to stop a body from decomposing. 5:47. 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to.
10 ways. What is that? Like a Go Mojo?
It's like a BuzzFeed article.
Yeah, literally.
Like a BuzzFeed article. 6:25. How long for someone to be missing to inherit?
Oh my
6:34. Can you throw away body parts? 9:29. What does formaldehyde do? 9:34. How long does DNA last? 9:59. Can identification be made on partial remains? 11:34. Dismemberment and the best ways to dispose of a body. 11:44. How to clean blood from wooden floor. 11:56. Luminol to detect blood. 1:08 p.m. What happens when you put body parts in ammonia? And 1:21 p.m. Is it better to put crime scene clothes away or wash them?
This is like my ChatGPT history, except with cooking. I'm like, what can I substitute for bagels? I don't know why bagels came to mind, but it's literally my ChatGPT history is all of these random things, but interestingly, none of them to do with dead bodies. So.
Yeah. This looks pretty bad. I will have you know, I was telling my husband about this case and the searches before we started recording, and he was like, you know what? That's why you have to put on a Netflix murder documentary that has relevant information so you can say that you were sitting there and researching while you were watching this. And I said, I'm sorry, are you plotting my murder?
He's like, only for the past 3 decades.
He's like, don't check the shed.
And I did say that my ChatGPT history didn't have to do with murder, but I do quite a bit of murder research, actually. So he should be more afraid of us.
Oh man, if we ever got flagged for something, the shit that is on our phones from this podcast.
We are indestructible, actually, because we have an actual podcast.
Yes. Yeah, so, you'd never be able to filter out the crime from the crime podcast.
And we don't have to ask, like, what does formaldehyde do?
Correct. So. But you do need to find out what cyanide smells like.
That's true.
So, you know.
Oh, I know now.
Always learning.
Always listening.
Learning, and disposing of bodies.
Oh, I was like, that's not our tagline.
No.
Living, learning, and disposing of bodies.
Live, laugh, love. Okay. So Brian Walshe's a fuckhead and obviously killed his wife.
I just imagine him like on a really sad note because he's got kids. Like, so I'm trying to put
I know,
that
and
aside.
oh my God,
I can't think about that part.
Yeah, I know.
But aside from that, I'm imagining him like just wandering around the house with, it was on iPad, you said?
Yeah.
He's just like,
his
have
oldest
some breakfast,
child.
and then I'm going to just Google this part. It's like you can like almost track what was happening all morning anyway.
Yep. In addition to these searches on January 1st, he also visited a website for luxury watches.
Really? Mm-hmm. Piece of shit.
Brian had told a babysitter and family friend that he'd lost his phone on this day, but the data showed that the phone was actually plugged in at the Walshe home. He did not take his phone with him when he ran errands, but they found that the oldest child's phone left the home, so they tracked that. And the oldest child's phone went to CVS, where Brian purchased 13 different types of hydrogen peroxide, which I didn't know there were so many varieties. And
is it like CVS brand?
That's what I thought. Again, I had this discussion with my husband before we started recording, and he was like, well, I would think that it's different actual varieties. And I'm like, how many varieties of hydrogen peroxide?
Well, there are
concentrations.
I was just going to say that.
I'm sorry, I stole your thunder. I got really excited.
I really stole your thunder because
different concentrations of hydrogen peroxide. He also stopped at Stop and Shop, where he purchased 3 64-ounce jugs of ammonia. Around 5:30, he was found on surveillance video going to a dumpster in the parking lot of a liquor store. He disposed of some items before returning to his car. He then traveled to the apartment complex where his mother lived, where he threw out more items in the dumpster over there. He then went to a Lowe's in Danvers, Mass., where he purchased 5-gallon buckets, terry cloth towels, a framing hammer, a full coverage suit, shoe guards, a mop, snips, 200 disposable rags, trash bags, and soap.
Dexter.
Literally.
Okay.
Literally.
You just need some plastic wrap and you're good to go.
Yep.
Oh my God. You know exactly what he's doing with all that.
Yep. He then went home and Googled how long Lowe's maintains security videos and how apartments maintain surveillance.
It's so annoying is not the right word because I obviously want him caught, but it's like so annoying because he's so close. Like you're right to think those things, but like you did it all wrong. You know, like don't bring any phones with you. Don't, you know, like don't use cash.
He was like, I can't bring my phone with me, but I'll bring. So I think maybe he thought if he looked on his kid's iPad that they wouldn't find those searches. Yeah. At least, oh my God, what was his name? The Fitbit murder guy. Yeah. He was like in IT. Yeah. At least he's not in IT. Like he's, you know, committing white collar fraud.
Clearly he's not.
Clearly. Brian must not have had enough supplies because on January 2nd, he went to Home Depot and purchased $450 worth of cleaning supplies, a hatchet, plastic sheeting, speaking of Dexter, more buckets, and 24 pounds of baking soda, which he paid for in cash.
Okay.
He also continued to fill up his Google search history with new search items, like at 12:45 p.m., hacksaw, best tool to dismember.
Oh my God.
1:10 p.m., can you be charged with murder without a body? Which we know that you can.
I was gonna say.
No body, no crime. And 1:14 p.m., can you identify a body with broken teeth? On January 3rd, at 1:02 p.m., he Googled what happens to hair on a dead body. 1:13 p.m., what is the rate of decomposition of a body found in a plastic bag compared to on a surface in the woods?
Can you imagine if he applied this curiosity to like a good cause?
Good versus evil.
Yeah.
And 1:20 p.m., can baking soda mask or make a body smell good?
Oh my God.
Can you imagine being his defense attorney and being like,
Well,
give him the chair.
he didn't mean to. It's awful because aside from the pure stupidity of Googling all of this, is just like at some point you loved this woman.
I know.
And if nothing else, she's a human. You know what I mean? Like a person. And by the way, the mother of your children. And it's just disgusting that he's like, like the teeth, the broken teeth one. Blah, blah.
Yeah, you got the framing hammer.
Like
It's
sickening.
It's on in line with Helicrafts.
Yes.
And we haven't covered that case, but Jennifer Dulos went
I was
missing.
like, you did cover Helicrafts.
No, I did cover Helicrafts.
Jennifer Dulos is for sure on our list.
Yeah. The bags in the dumpster near the liquor store were gone by the time police got to them, but they were able to locate the trash bags that he had dumped near his mother's apartment. They'd been emptied from the dumpster, but they located them at a collection site in Peabody.
Can you pick on me?
Yes, Laura.
I was discussing, I don't remember what case or something, but I was discussing, oh no, I wasn't discussing a case. I was discussing Bitcoin. I'll get there. Hang on. It's related. At work with a couple of my coworkers, and they were talking about how this guy had a hard drive where his Bitcoin wallet was on there, and it had, do you even remotely know what I'm talking about?
Kind of.
Okay. It was the way to access his money. He had thrown it away by accident because he thought it was an empty hard drive.
Oh my God.
But it really wasn't. There was it was at the time not that much. It was now like $700 million worth, whatever. So we were talking about landfills, and I was like, oh yeah, somebody, he wants to be able to search the landfill, and my coworker said that they would know based on where your stuff was picked up where it would go in the landfill because of this exact scenario.
Oh my gosh.
They needed to be able to know,
locate.
I don't know how true that is. I mean, this was just water cooler talk.
I mean,
but
you might as well stay organized with your garbage.
That's what I'm saying.
Gotta section it off.
But I don't know. Do they know where approximately that each garbage truck dumped given a certain time? I don't know. Anyway.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
They must.
I think so.
I'm glad you got there because I was like, I don't know if we have enough breadcrumbs. I don't know.
I got there.
You were there.
That was a sourdough loaf.
Okay. So the bag that they found in Peabody contained cleaning equipment, blood-stained towels, rags, a hacksaw, a hatchet, a Prada purse that was carried by Ana Walshe, her COVID-19 vaccination card, boots that she was last seen wearing, and bloody slippers. The bloody slippers in the bag were tested by the state crime lab and were positive for both Brian and Ana Walshe's DNA.
I would, if you ignored all the other things, I would say that alone wouldn't be conclusive to me, though, at all. They lived together, right? So wouldn't that make sense?
Why would his blood be on it?
I don't know.
Or was it just the DNA?
You said DNA, but
it wouldn't necessarily be conclusive because, you figure our DNA is on our husband's clothes or belongings.
Exactly.
Yeah. The police also searched the Walshe home. In the basement, they found 2 knives. One was bloodied and damaged. They found a heavy-duty large tarp and plastic liners.
Yep.
Brian was arrested on January 18th
Yep.
and was indicted in March by a grand jury on charges including murder, misleading a police investigation, obstruction of justice, and improper conveyance of a human body. And he's being held without bail.
I realize they just want to add a bunch of charges, but I'm curious why that charge. Because he put it in.
I think because he put it in the garbage.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's just throwing the book at him.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I just was curious about that particular charge.
Yeah. Littering
and littering.
What is that from?
Oh my God, the Super Troopers.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Hey, what's that place you like with all the crazy shit on the walls?
Shenanigans.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Liter cola.
Okay.
Sorry.
Prosecutors laid out all of the facts that we discussed, the searches and everything. They also noted that Ana had $2.7 million in life insurance policies in which Brian was the sole beneficiary.
Yeah.
That's how he can afford his luxury watches that he was looking up. The prosecutor also alleged that Brian suspected Ana was having the affair in D.C. as he was routinely visiting the Instagram page of one of her male friends. And on December 26th, he orchestrated it so that his mother hired a private investigator to conduct surveillance of Ana while she was in Washington, D.C.
Jeez.
His defense attorney, Tracy Minor, agreed that the Google searches were, quote, problematic.
That's like me discussing a problem at work. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're right. That's concerning.
It's problematic. But she argued that he also Googled other things like best places to go on a family vacation and how to set up a charitable corporation to give away lottery winnings. So I guess
He's just a curious man.
yeah. So
Okay.
I guess if you're going to Google like how to hack up a body, make sure you also Google like kitten adoptions, like
Okay.
volunteering at a soup kitchen. Apparently
Sure.
that makes it okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Just,
All right.
you know.
Noted. Noted.
She also argued that there was no body, no murder weapon, and no motive, which I disagree. She argued that there was no evidence of Brian needing money since his mother was wealthy. But like that is bullshit. Like he's got art fraud, probate fraud.
Yeah.
Like come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Prosecutors have not said whether Anna's body or remains have been found.
Oh.
Unfortunately for Brian, though, we know it's not true. No body, no crime.
Yeah. Is that it? That's all you're telling me?
No, I've got more.
Oh, you were just staring at me like that's the end of the case.
Nope, got a little bit
Okay.
more. Got a little twisty. You haven't pooped your pants yet. After
Says you.
After Brian's arrest, the couple's 3 children were placed in the custody of the Massachusetts Department of Children and Families. Thankfully, several local families offered to take in the children so that they could remain together.
Poor kids.
In February 2024, Brian was sentenced in federal court to 37 months in prison and 3 years of supervised release for each count of fraud.
Okay.
He was
I was
also
making
ordered
a very angry
no,
face.
No,
and
he was
she
also
put her finger up at me.
Give me a second to finish. He was also ordered to pay restitution of $475,000 for the art fraud.
Okay, good.
He's currently awaiting trial for murder. It's scheduled for October 20th, 2025. At the end of 2023, he obtained a new lawyer. His high-profile defense attorney, Tracy Minor, moved to withdraw from the case, and public defender Larry Tipton was assigned to the matter. So essentially, Brian ran out of money. That's what happened.
Yep.
Also, she was like, this is a bullshit case. I'm not taking this.
Absolutely. What a waste of time.
Attorney Tipton said in January 2024 that the case came with close to 1,000 pages of discovery and that additional DNA testing was expected at that time.
All of those pages were Google searches.
Yes.
Every single one of them.
Now, I have an idea of what their defense is going to be.
Oh.
Brian's defense team is currently seeking documents relating to the handling of 2 other cases by Norfolk County investigators.
Oh, I just processed who you said.
Do you know who the lead investigator was on this case?
Proctor.
Trooper Michael Proctor.
Good job, Laura, on remembering the name. I never remember anything.
He was involved with the Karen
my
Reed
God.
murder trial,
Yes.
and they also had the case with the alleged killing of Sandra Birchmore by the Stoughton, Massachusetts detective Matthew Farwell, the one I told you about, where he went and like looked in her closet, and then she was found hanging by her gym bag the next day. And they were like, there were no text messages between them, and the feds are like, or 30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So defense attorneys are specifically seeking emails and text messages from Trooper Michael Proctor.
So would they go after and just be like, it was a whole botched thing, and therefore he, they'll just go on like the process, do you think?
So I think, I mean, he could try to claim that he was framed, but come on, I don't think that's the way to do it.
No.
I think the way to do it is to throw enough reasonable doubt about the investigation and the way that the police handled it and how they found evidence. I don't think like this is okay. Karen Reed to Brian Walshe is like apples to oranges. Okay. Like Karen Reed
to rocks.
Yeah. It's not even, they're not even both fruit really.
Exactly.
So I don't think that that's going to work in Brian Walshe's case, but I mean, it's better than the absolute nothing that he had before.
It is. Wow. Now, if he is found not guilty, does he get the life insurance? All that $2.7 million? He does, right?
Yeah, I
would
mean,
think.
I think he would have to be acquitted of everything.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, anything related to her death, right?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. I'd have to
It depends on the terms.
look at the deck page.
It depends. Yeah, the terms of the life insurance policy. You got to really look at those.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Did you know that was connected when you started this?
Okay, so when I was looking at it, I realized they were talking, one of the articles was talking about the DA, Michael Morrissey. And I was like, oh shit, that's the DA in Karen Reed's case. And I was like, oh my God, this is like the same county that it's going through the court
Wow.
system. Like, not the exact same lawyers, but
Right.
it's the same investigator. And I was like,
my
oh
God.
shit, like what a connection. So the prosecutors have objected to turning over his text at this point because they're still
They're like, he's probably got shit on there.
yeah. So that, well, the DA's office is still reviewing it and looking at the data in the cloud. And they have also hired an attorney to conduct an independent review of all the information. So they don't want to turn that over. But in the meantime, they did turn over the trooper's notes. You know what they say about one bad apple. So not only did they turn it over in this case, the prosecutor has already had to send out 13 Brady letters, which that comes from a case. The prosecution basically has to alert people that this investigator is involved with the case and disclosing that there are potential credibility issues with this investigator.
So that was actually what I was going to ask, is how, with all of the Karen Reed stuff that is very much still in the middle, like in the midst of all that, how is he allowed to be an investigator?
He's not,
like,
he's suspended.
Oh, wait, what was the timing of? Oh, so this was this before all the Karen Reed stuff came out?
Yes.
So
this was
that's
2022
crazy.
into 2023, and then
What fucking luck for Brian? What luck?
I don't
Okay.
think it's not going to do him
I
any
hope
good.
not. But what luck that there's even a
Are you
smidgen.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
But I was reading an article and there was they were talking to a criminal analyst and they were like, well, you know, if he conveys enough reasonable doubt based on Proctor's involvement, he'll walk. I'm like, there's no fucking way he walks.
I hope that no jury listens to all of that evidence and is like, oh, but maybe the investigator did something.
They'll get him on anything. They'll
Right.
be like, you can't throw out blood in a dumpster and
yeah.
we're gonna, you know, that's a biohazard. And also you still obstructed justice because you didn't tell us the truth about your cell phone records.
And they haven't said whether they found her body or not. So hopefully they have,
I
or
know.
like parts, because that would, I think, strengthen the case significantly.
Because her whole body couldn't have been in the one trash bag that he dumped in that liquor store dumpster.
Oh my God, those poor kids. That's all I can think about.
I know. And why is it? I'm pretty sure Hella Crafts had 3 kids.
Yeah.
Didn't Jennifer Doulos have like 4 kids?
Dedicated,
Like, why?
sweet moms. It just breaks my heart.
And they're like, she probably gone girled us. It's like, yeah, okay. Like
Yeah.
the mother that talks to their kids every
Yeah,
single fucking day
exactly.
just
Yep.
walked away.
Sickening.
So this guy is
Wow. We'll keep our eyes open,
a
ears
douche.
open.
Yeah. I mean, he's innocent until proven guilty. Let me just, say that.
I
There's
think
that
that's proven him
caveat.
guilty, in my humble opinion.
Pretty bad. It's pretty
Wow.
bad. I would not want to be his defense attorney, but anyways.
No.
So I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I'll
Yeah.
probably have to do P-Boney for
I would appreciate
a
that.
little up-a-date. Maybe I'll do like a full like Trooper Michael Proctor case, and I'll be able to loop in Karen Reed's trial with
Oh, boy.
with Brian Walshe.
Oh, boy.
Guess you're gonna have to subscribe to our Patreon to hear it.
How can I do that?
Well, you could do that by going to Patreon and searching Grim: a True Crime Podcast.
What else can I do?
I'm like, now I'm in the middle and I'm all screwed up. If you're enjoying listening to Grim, I gotta go back. I gotta go back. Let's go back. Rate and follow us wherever you listen to podcasts to make sure you don't miss any episodes. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, make our day. Leave us a written review. We haven't gotten one in a while.
Please.
We love when people say nice things about us.
Yeah,
Makes
only
us
nice
so
ones,
happy.
please.
Yeah, don't write anything mean. Keep that to yourself. You can find our page on Facebook by searching Grim: a True Crime Podcast. Join our Patreon, but if subscriptions aren't your thing, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/grimcrimepodcast. We have asked Buy Me a Coffee to change their official name to Buy Me a Celsius.
It still starts with a C.
Still
so.
pending. If you donate $5 or more, we will send you a sweet 4-inch Grim die cut sticker. It's pretty sweet. Laura's got it on her water bottle right now.
Looks great.
Follow us on Instagram at Grim Crime Podcast for information on future episodes and case photos. If you want to send us a case suggestion or just say hi, you can email us at grimcrimepodcast@gmail.com. Listen, learn, and stay alive until next time, because the future is grim.